A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English because it's so much fun. English education for you and everyone, so come along. Learn some grammar, learn a phrase, learn something new every day. Learn the A+ way. Hey, it's time to start the show. Are you ready? Good, 'cause here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I want A+ English.
Welcome everyone to A+ English. I'm Adam.
And I'm Elsie. Adam, I know you like reading a lot.
I do like reading. I like reading books, comic books, and even the newspaper.
Yeah, every time you go to the bookstore with me, you take so long.
Well, yeah, I do take a long time because sometimes it takes a long time to find the kind of story you really want to read about.
True.
And that actually brings us to our warm-up question for today, everyone. What are some famous short stories? What are they about?
Oh, there are so many short stories.
Yeah, the one that's coming to my mind is, do you remember the tale of Peter Rabbit? It's a rabbit named Peter who sneaks into Mr. McGregor's garden and gets into trouble.
Oh.
Then Peter learns a lesson about, staying out of trouble, staying out of danger, and learning to follow the rules. What about you? Do you know any short stories or famous short stories?
Famous short stories. Oh, there's one called Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, you're right. Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, so Jack trades his family's cow for magic beans, which grow into a giant beanstalk.
Right. And then he sees a castle on top of the beanstalk, right?
Yep.
He tries to steal the gold from the giant. Yeah, so those are some very famous short stories. But everyone, today we are going to learn about a special writer and his history who is famous for writing short stories.
Let's take a look.
O. Henry and the Last Leaf. Warm-up question. What are some famous short stories? What are they about?
William Sidney Porter was an American short story writer. Most people know him as O. Henry. He lived from 1862 to 1910. As a young man, he was a pharmacist, a reporter, and a bank worker. He started a funny magazine, but it failed. He stole money from the bank and stayed in jail for 3 years.
William Sidney Porter was an American short story writer.
Okay, so we're going to read about him, right?
Right, yeah.
And like you said, you love reading, so who's your favorite American writer?
That's
Do you
a good
like this guy?
question. Yeah, I do like this guy. And there's so many good American writers out there. My favorite would probably be between Philip K. Dick, who is a science fiction writer and also wrote short stories as well, and also maybe Ernest Hemingway. But everyone, William Sidney Porter was very important as well. Our article says most people know him as O. Henry. He lived from 1862 to 1910.
Okay, so do you like the stories he wrote?
Yeah, I really do. There is one I really like. It's called Memoirs of a Yellow Dog. And it's kind of funny and also heartwarming. But the thing about this author, O. Henry, he led quite an exciting and interesting life.
But not long, right?
Yeah, if you look at how long he lived, it would have been what? 47 years?
Yeah, about 45 to 47 years.
Exactly. And so learning more about O. Henry, it says, as a young man, he was a pharmacist, a reporter, and a bank worker.
Oh, so he was not a writer in the beginning?
Not in the beginning.
Okay, so were you a pharmacist, a reporter, and a bank worker before? What jobs did you have?
What jobs have
Before you came here?
Oh, okay. To Taiwan?
Yeah.
Well, I worked as a fraud analyst for a tech company. What about you?
What? Before I what?
Before you were a teacher.
Oh, before I became a teacher. Of course, I was a student. So I was a student. I graduated from college and then I became a teacher. And I'm still a teacher.
Awesome. Well, we need always as many teachers as possible. But the cool thing about O. Henry was he had a whole life before he even started writing these short stories. And our article says he started a funny magazine, but it failed.
Wow, so there are different kinds of magazines, right?
Yeah.
What are some of them?
What are some magazines? Well, you got kind of some
fashion magazines.
Fashion magazine, car magazines. News magazines.
Hairstyles magazines.
Oh, yeah.
And English learning magazines.
And you do have English learning.
Like AMC.
Exactly.
So he worked at a bank before, and what happened when he was a bank clerk?
Oh, what happened? This is kind of where it gets interesting, everyone. He stole money from the bank and stayed in jail for 3 years.
Okay, when he was a bank clerk, he stole money from the bank.
Yeah.
And he went to a jail.
Yep.
So we know a jail and also a prison, right? What's the difference between these two words?
Easy way to define jail and prison is jail is for a shorter amount of time and for lesser crimes. While prison is for longer amounts of time and for more serious crimes.
Oh, so
Like
Harry
murder,
stole money, so he was only in jail, not in prison.
Right. He didn't go to where the very bad crimes were committed in prison. So, yeah, but look, it's very interesting. He worked as a bank clerk, and then before writing books and before writing short stories, he was stealing money. All right. Well, let's find out more.
During this time, he began to write stories under the name O. Henry. Many of his stories are about poor and common people in American cities. A lot of his stories have a surprise at the end. O. Henry's stories are very famous, and many people enjoy them.
During this time, he began to write stories under the name O. Henry.
Oh, so we could say that O. Henry is his pen name?
Yeah, exactly.
Pen name.
Yeah, as a pen name. Just like Joanne Rowling, which is Harry Potter author, she goes by the pen name J.K. Rowling.
So when he was in jail, he wrote a lot of stories.
Yeah, when you have that much time, you have to we say kill time. So while he was in jail, he was killing time writing some short stories. And our article jumps back by saying many of his stories are about poor and common people in American cities.
Okay, so for me, I don't like reading fiction stories. 编撰出来的故事叫做 fiction stories. I like non-fiction, 也就是真实发生的. What about you?
For me, I like fiction. I like to use my imagination to see maybe a different world or a different situation that I'm used to. But I know you do really like nonfiction because I know you like watching nonfiction shows
Like documentaries
and true crime and things like that. So he wrote these articles and he wrote these little short stories and they were about the American life, about maybe
common people in America.
And things that happen in everyday lives. Well, a lot of his stories have a surprise at the end.
Like a surprising twist.
Yeah, just like in movies sometimes. You watch a whole movie and then something happens at the very end, and we say that's a twist. And jumping back, it says, O. Henry's stories are famous and many people enjoy them. And they are very famous and many people enjoy them.
Right, they're very famous. So do you like his stories?
Yeah, I really do. Another good story of his is called After 20 Years.
Oh, so you've read 2 of his stories.
I've read more than 2, maybe about 4. But they're all really interesting. And even though they're so old, you would think they'd be really really boring. But they're not. They still, have meaning to what's going on in today's day and age.
So I guess tomorrow we'll be reading one of his art stories, right?
Yeah, a very famous one.
Okay, but now we have to take a look at our vocabulary words. 今天我们看到的第一个单字是 magazine 这个名词，它代表的是杂志。那你到书店里面呢，你也看到不同很多种的杂志，有什么呢？像刚刚我们提到的 fashion magazines 就是流行的杂志，或者是 travel magazines 旅游的杂志，还有呢 business magazines 也就是商业的杂志，还有像是我们空中美语 English Learning Magazines 也就是英文学习杂志。那单字例句给的是呢 Jamie learns about foreign places by reading travel magazines. Jamie 透过阅读旅游杂志来认识国外的地方。那再来第二个单字呢，我们看到是 steal 这个动词，是偷，是窃取。那在我们的课文当中呢，我们用到的是过去式，也就是 stole。好，所以它的三态是 steal, stole, stolen。那你从某人那边窃取某物 you steal something from somebody. For example, that guy stole the money from that woman. 那个男人偷走了那个女人的钱。那另外呢 steal 的被动用法也是很常见的哦。你可以说 My new bike was stolen yesterday， 代表我的新脚踏车昨天被偷了。那单字例句提供的是I called the police because someone stole my computer. 有人偷了我的电脑，所以我打电话报警。那第三个单字呢是形容词 common， 好，代表普通的、一般的。A common problem， 好，那就是普通、一般都会见到的问题。那 common 也可以用来形容知识这个字是 knowledge， common knowledge 那就是常识。那相反的，如果你说不普通的、不寻常的，我们就在字首加上 un 变成 uncommon， 好，那就会是这个形容词。那当我们说 A and B have something in common， 那就是 A 和 B 这两个人或两个物品有共同之处。For example, my sister and I don't really have much in common， 那就是我姐姐和我其实没有什么共同点。那单字例句给的是呢 Molly is just a common dog, but I think she's special. Molly 只是一只普通的狗，但我觉得她与众不同。那第四个单字是 surprise， 这里当名词使用哦，指的是意想不到的新事物。比如说Please don't tell Adam that I want to throw a birthday party for him. 不要告诉 Adam 我要帮他办生日派对。I want it to be a surprise. 我想要这件事情是个惊喜。好，所以呢，这个就是 surprise 当名词用的用法还有例子。那如果你想要把它拿来当动词也是可以的，指的就是使某人惊喜啦，或是惊讶。For example, the news really surprised me. 消息真的让我很惊讶。那形容词怎么办呢？你可以在字尾加个 d， 变成 surprised， 那就是感到惊讶的。如果你要说某事令人惊讶，那你要用 surprising 这一个形容词哦。像是呢，我们可以说 I was surprised at what she said. 我对她说的话感到惊讶。或者是换句话说 What she said was surprising to me. 那单字例句提供的是 Our math teacher gave us a surprise today. A quiz. No one studied for it. 数学老师今天做了件让我们意想不到的事，一场随堂测验就这么考了出来，大家都没有读书。那再来 match box， 我们要讲到的是呢，后方要接上 to V 原形以及 VING的动词，那它们呢不管接哪一种意思都是一样的。有什么呢？有代表喜欢的 like， 代表爱的 love， 还有像是讨厌 hate， 还有开始有 start， 还有 begin。 那给同学们一个例句了。好，他说I like reading novels， 我喜欢阅读小说，也可以说 I like to read novels。 那不管你用 ing 或是 to be 原形，它都是一样的意思哦。
Review time.
Well, everyone, that brings us to our vocabulary review. So let's take a look at some of the words and see how we can use them. The first word is magazine.
名词杂志。
The next one is steal.
动词偷、窃取。
The next one is common.
形容词普通的、一般的。
And the final one is surprise.
名词意想不到的事物。
Okay. So what we're going to do and what you guys can do is fill in the blanks. We're going to create a sentence and you are going to try to guess the word, or
Okay.
we are going to guess the word that needs to fill in the blank. Okay. So, should I go first?
Sure.
All right. Let's see here. I could say to you, hey, please don't blank my pencil. I need to use it for the test.
So please don't take my pencil.
Yeah, or
Don't take it away. Don't use it.
don't use it.
Don't steal it.
Very good.
Okay.
Don't steal my pencil.
Okay, number 2. When I walked into the new bookstore near our house, I saw so many different kinds of blank there.
Oh, well, it wouldn't be steal. It wouldn't be common. It wouldn't be surprised. So you saw so many magazines there. It's a
Right.
bookstore.
So many magazines.
Okay. And one more we'll say, when I walked into the house, I was in for a great blank because there were people everywhere saying happy birthday to me.
Oh, so surprise.
Very good. All right, and that's all the time we have for today, everyone. You try to use the last one, which is common. See if you can fill it in.
那今天的节目就讲到这边咯。想观看更多精彩的内容，要到 YouTube 搜寻 A+ English， 也就是空中美语，也别忘记按赞、订阅、开启小铃铛哦。See you next time， 拜拜。
Bye-bye.